Hello again, this is Joe Roberts running another set of YouTube tutorials. My normal tutorials are in the Tekkit pack as a whole, but now I'm going to start doing tutorials on a specific server running the Tekkit pack called SGTekkit. If you're not part of that server, I highly recommend you join because it's freaking awesome. If you are part of the server, then I hope that this can be of great use to you. Uh, Basically, my future tutorials are going to be running endgame goals of the Technic pack revolving around this machine right here, a mass fabricator. Basically, it takes energy, a lot of energy. Note that I have it running off of 7 HV solar arrays right now, and it creates this, UU matter. UU matter is basically a material which can be used to create anything in the game. There's nothing that cannot ultimately be created with UU matter. It's extremely powerful. You need a lot of it to do important things. Like, I think it takes if you're running the right kind of machine, it takes something like 13 UU matter to make a single, normal solar panel, and 270 UU matter to make the best armor in the game, which makes you literally invincible, and you don't need to eat, you move super fast. It's really awesome. It's something that everyone should aspire to, but you need a lot of UU matter to do it. Now, you can actually purchase UU matter because SGTekkit has a very good functioning economy. However, you want to eventually be able to build this stuff for yourself so that you can do whatever you want. And that's the purpose of these future tutorials, how to get a mass fabricator up and running. Now, this is the configuration that I'm running to power the mass fabricator. All of my power generators are over here. Now, those can be whatever you want, different types of generators, geothermal, etc., etc. However, what I'm running right now are just HV solar arrays, because they're perfectly sustainable. You never have to worry about anything. But I have 7 of them running the mass fabricator at this speed. The problem is that the mass fabricator takes all of your energy. Just all of it. It will consume literally anything that you put on the network, up to 512 EU per tick. But that's 512 EU packets, meaning you can have any number of things delivering 512 EU here, so long as no one single packet is over 512. So all these HV solar arrays, they're 512 EU per tick, and they're delivering to the mass fabricator at the same time, but no single one of them is over 512, so they can. The only thing in the game that is over 512 is a nuclear reactor. I'll run a tutorial on that later. What I'm doing over here is that I have an MFSU powering all of my other machines, and it's actually on the same circuit as the mass fabricator, but it's not feeding into the mass fabricator, which means that this thing right here is never going to run out of energy because it's feeding the mass fab. This thing will turn off at night, but that's not really the biggest tragedy in the world, because all of your power is going to the mass fab anyways. The thing about the mass fabricator is that it is very, very slow. It takes 1 million EU to produce a single UU matter, and you need a metric, well, a lot of it, I should say, to create, anything important. So, what you're going to do is you're going to speed it up sixfold, actually, by using this stuff, scrap. Scrap is produced by recyclers. These machines over here, recyclers produce scrap. You throw in anything you want, literally anything at all, and there's about a 1 in 8 chance that it's going to produce a scrap. Now, scrap can be used for scrap boxes, which are kind of weird little things, but scrap is, its main function is to use it in mass fabricators. Now, see, it's producing it at this speed. If I throw in scrap, look what happens. Look at that. Scrap will speed up a mass fabricator by a factor of 6. It takes, I think, 34 scrap to produce a single UU matter at maximum efficiency. However, it does it very, very quickly. So, what do? You make a bunch of scrap, recyclers, and then you create a machine which will feed scrap into your mass fabricator, which is, pretty neat. The problem is that the recyclers themselves are pretty slow. I'll run another tutorial on overclockers very soon, and you need something to feed into it. Now, you can use cobblestone, but the problem is that there's no real way of generating cobblestone as SGTekkit, because they disabled block breakers and they disabled force field block cutter upgrades, or at least I hope they did by now. I notified an admin of a potential abuse, and they haven't actually done anything yet. Anyways, this is the configuration that you probably want to mess around with for getting your mass fabricator running. A lot of power connected directly to the mass fabricator, and then a bunch of recyclers feeding scrap into it. Now, how you get the stuff to feed into the scrap will be a function of future tutorials. How you get the power to the mass fabricator, a function of future tutorials. But this is kind of the configuration that you want to mess with, because a mass fabricator is pretty much the end game goal. If you want to know how to make a mass fabricator, there's a lot of different wikis out there. I can't post links. Actually, I can. I'll post a link in the description on the wiki page for the Tekkit pack. But basically, this is kind of the configuration that you want to roll with for all your machines. And I'll run a couple other tutorials on more efficient ways of getting this set up. Yes, one last thing I should mention. The mass fabricator will only be delivered scrap from the bottom. You can take the UU matter out of it using a filter from any side, but it will only be delivered scrap from the bottom. So when you're building your machine, just make sure you have that in mind.